tips, tools and strategies for an abundant, overflowing life. Thank you for watching again today. And today I want to ask you the question, are you prioritizing your priorities? Are you prioritizing your priorities? You see, it was Jesus who told us in Matthew 6 verse 33 that we should seek first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto us. You see, it was Jesus who told us that we should focus on the important things in life. Someone once said it this way. They said that things that matter most should never be at the mercy of things that matter least. So, your priorities in life should be the things that matter most. Are you focusing your time, your energy, your resources on what is important in your life? How much of our life do we actually spend on unimportant things? And those are the things that matter least. And as a result, we end up not having any time for the things that really matter most. You see, and this is what happens in our lives when we don't make time for our priorities. So, if we want to be effective, if we want to be productive, and if we want to be successful, we need to focus on our priorities. You see, success doesn't just come when we are busy, it comes when we are busy with the right things. So are you busy with the right things? Now this reminds me of a story about a man who was told that if you want to be rich, that you actually have to dig holes. So this man decided to dig holes in his backyard. He started digging holes and he kept on digging holes, and after he dug holes, guess what? He didn't get rich. All he ended up with was a backache. You see, you need to focus on the right things. We need to focus on priorities. And if we want to be successful in life, we have to focus on our priorities. You see, many people are just like this man I was just talking about. They are digging holes in the backyard, they are working hard, they are busy, but they are not effective and productive, and they become like a hamster on a wheel, running nowhere, putting in a lot of effort, but ending up nowhere slowly. So it's not just about being busy, but it's rather about focusing on your priorities. But the million-dollar question then that we need to ask ourselves is, how do you determine your priorities? How do you find out what your priorities really are? Well, I want to talk to you today about a principle called the Pareto principle. And maybe you've heard about this principle before, but it was first coined by an Italian economist called Vilfredo Pareto. And he said that we need to focus our attention on the top 20% of our priorities. The top 20% of our priorities. And he said that when we do this, we will get an 80% return on effort. You see, when I focus my energy on my top 20% priorities, I get a fourfold return on effort. In other words, the top 20% of my priorities actually determine 80% of the results in my life. And the opposite of this is also actually true. If I focus on everything that I need to do, I spread my resources and time too thin, and therefore I only get a 20% return on effort. You see, we have to focus on our priorities, and this is the power of focusing on priorities. And this is what I've heard about this principle. They say that 20% of your time produces 80% of your results. Did you hear that? 20% of the things that you spend your time on are producing 80% of the results in your life. 20% of the people in your organization are producing 80% of the work. 20% of your work is giving you 80% of the satisfaction that you receive in life. And quite funny, I think, they say that at a party or a picnic, 20% of the people consume 80% of the snacks. Haven't you found that to be true? Well, it was Michael LeBoeuf who summed it up perfectly when he said that devoting a little of yourself to everything means committing a great deal of yourself to nothing. You see, we can't commit ourselves to everything. We have to learn to focus on our priorities. You see, and this is all about working smart, not about working hard. So, do you know what your priorities in life are? Now, I want to give you 3 questions today that you can ask yourself so that you can take back your life and so that you can focus on your priorities. And this is what we need to do. We need to take back our lives. We can't just keep on existing. If we want to be effective, if we want to be productive, we need to focus on our priorities. So take back your life. So if we take back our lives, if we focus on our priorities, we get behind the steering wheel of our lives once again, and we then decide for ourselves what is important and what we need to focus on. It was Carl Sandburg, a poet, who said that time is the most valuable coin in your life, and you alone will determine how that coin will be spent. You see, like a coin, time is running out. You see, that coin won't last forever, and neither will the time that you have on earth. So we don't have time to do everything. We have to focus on the most important things in our lives, and that will make us effective and productive in life. You see, we have to be careful that people don't spend our time for us. You see, people will determine your priorities if you allow them. You see, our greatest possession in life is the 24 hours that we have been given every single day. And the question then is, how will you spend it? Are you going to give in to the pressure, or are you going to focus on your priorities? Don't let unimportant things, unimportant tasks and distractions consume your life. I want to suggest to you today that you take responsibility for your life, that you focus on your priorities, and that you determine what is important to you. And if you don't decide how you are going to spend your life and what to focus on, I can guarantee you this: someone else will. You see, nothing is more important and will add more success to your life than determining the right priorities to focus on. So let me give you 3 questions today that will help you determine what is most important in your life. Are you ready? The first question you need to ask yourself is, what is required of me? You see, if you want to know your priorities in life, you have to ask the question, what must you do? You see, there are certain things in life that you just must do. There are certain things that are required of you. You see, in order to be a good husband, what must you do? In order to be a good father to your children or a good mother to your children, what must you do? If you want to be a good parent, what must you do? If you want to be a good employee at work, what must you do? You see, all of these things, when we ask ourselves what I must do, it helps you to focus on what is really important. You see, there are certain things that you must do. There are certain things that only you can do, that no one else can do for you, but that you must do yourself. And that's a good place to start, by asking yourself, what must I do? What is required of me? The second question that you need to ask is, what will give you the greatest return? You see, not everything that you spend your time, energy and resources on will produce the same kind of returns in your life on effort. So you need to ask yourself, what will give you the greatest return? You see, what things in your life produce the greatest return? There are certain things that you are going to do that are going to have a higher return on effort than other activities that you are going to do. And this is all about finding your strength zone. Do you know what your strength zone is? Do you know where you need to focus? You see, so many times we spend a lot of time trying to improve our weaknesses instead of focusing on our strength. So you need to find your strength zone. This is the place that will produce the maximum return on effort. This is the place where you will see the greatest results in your life. So in order to determine what your strength zone is, you have to ask yourself, what do other people say that you are truly good at? What do you know that you have done that has produced amazing results in your life? Now just look back in your life and look at what has produced the best results in your life. You see, that is focusing on your strength zone. You see, sometimes we focus on things that have no return in our lives. So I have to focus on my strengths and not on my weaknesses. The third question that you need to ask is, what will give you the greatest reward? You see, it's one thing to know what you must do, it's one thing to know what gives you the greatest return, but you must also live to be in that zone where you get the greatest reward. What gives you the most satisfaction? Often we spend a lot of time on things that give us no satisfaction. You see, we need to be satisfied with the things that we are doing. You see, we can do what we have to do, and that will make us effective and highly productive. But only when we do what gives us personal satisfaction will we be content. And that is what we need to be. We need to be content. What are the things that gives you joy? You know, is it things like singing? Is it writing? Is it teaching? Is it helping? You see, when you do these things, it feels rewarding. And that is what is truly important. And this should be part of your priorities. You see, when you focus on those things that give you joy, that give you peace, that give you satisfaction, it will actually even make you more effective. You see, because when we focus on the things that we enjoy, automatically we become more effective and productive at them. So, these are the 3 questions that I wanted to ask you today that will help you determine your priorities. What is required of you? What gives you the greatest return? And what gives you the greatest reward? And I end with this. It was philosopher William James who said that the art of being wise is the art of knowing what to overlook. You see, we can't focus once again on everything. We need to know what to overlook. So don't let things that matter most be at the mercy of things that matter least. I want to encourage you today. Focus on your priorities. And when you do this, it will help you to be effective, it will help you to be productive, and it will help you to live the successful, abundant, overflowing life that God has for you. Thank you once again for watching, and this week, remember, focus on your priorities. Prioritize your priorities. God bless.